Well, hello everyone. I am ready to go live, and I see that you are also here ready to start the stream with me, which is awesome. And I do see that there's this crazy lag between the start time and the start time, so you're gonna catch whatever was happening before I hit start streaming. It's so strange. I guess it's the buffer that does that. But I see a bunch of you are here already. I see Sam is here, and everything's Shaden. Hello, nice to see you. I don't think I've seen you chat with us here on stream before, but I would love to know where you're from. And you said you didn't have your any paints with you at the moment, but that you would like to watch, and which is cool as well. You don't have to do anything besides watch. That's what YouTube's all about. But if you want to paint with us, lots of viewers enjoy painting along with me. So I've got Melinda here. Hello, Melinda. Good to see you again. I've got Belle here. Hello, Belle. Nice to see you as well. Sam is here. And Cassandra is here. Cassandra, and everything's Shaden's first time. So I wonder how you heard about the stream. Are you a subscriber to this new channel, or do you follow me on Instagram? I'm always curious how people find me. So, hope everybody's doing great. It's been a busy week for me. I've had, today I helped my cousin paint his house. So that was a lot of fun. It was a beautiful day. We were outdoors and working with paintbrushes, except they were ginormous ones. And then when I got home, I had all kinds of paint on my hands that I had to scrub off. It's a medium toned gray leaning towards cool blue, but dark. So everything Shaden came from Doodle Draw Art. Lovely. Well, Doodle Draw Art is very much focused on, was always very much focused on how to draw tutorials. And lately I've been doing lots of watercolor. So I figured that it'd be better to have a different channel for that. And so Sam's letting me know that all is good, which is good because sometimes I forget to turn the mic on or other things crazy happen. So it's always good if everything's working. Thank you so much. Will is here. Hello, Will. And Will has popcorn ready. That is awesome. And just keeping my eye on the chat here. Lots of you are chatting right now, which is great. So we're going to do some watercolor painting. I haven't picked a subject yet, but I've saved a bunch of inspirational Instagram posts this week that I thought maybe I could jump off of, and then we'd like to use royalty-free art as our actual subject. So we probably go over to something like Pexels to find something that we can just directly work from. So Golden Believer, Belle's asking, what time is it there? I expected you to be close to night already. Are you asking me? Because for me it is it's 6:30 after supper, and we have it's still pretty daylight right now. It'll be daylight till probably 8:30. And Cassandra wants to know who I am. Well, I am Lisa. Who are you? I guess if you found my stream, you found it for a reason. I don't know. How did you find my stream if you don't know who I am? That's curious to know. So I am gonna just maybe get my iPad out here and start having a look. We'll look together and see what we want to maybe sketch together. So I will just flip off this larger face cam, go down to my overhead cam, and yes, thank you. I'm an artist. I have painted this during a live stream a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even answer the question, did I? Who are you? Well, I am this girl doing a live stream in Canada. So here we have, this is something we did together a couple weeks ago. We did this and draw this two ways. So we did a quick one and a slow one. And I ended up calling the title of this piece ended up being Sunday Vibes. And I enjoyed that one a lot. And then last stream we did two. Let's put this aside here so I can. We did two other pieces. We did this little sandpiper, piping plover. There's a difference. A sandpiper has a much longer beak. This is a piping plover. And so we have 4:30 in Iowa, or 4:37 to be exact. Yeah, I guess if you want to be very particular about the time, that is the time. And it's getting close to late evening overseas. We've got Will in the UK. So here we have, I don't live in Waterloo. No, I live in Nova Scotia. And then here, some people are just more particular than others. It's all good. This is the other bird that we painted last time. And it was super fun to see the various birds that you guys painted and drew along with me last time. When I was working on this Kingfisher, I wasn't really sure that I liked it. I thought it was maybe a little bit overworked, but then as time passed and it dried and I looked at it more, I decided that I liked it quite a bit. So, you know, these are the kinds of things we like to paint, but we're up for anything. So we're just gonna look here at some of these saved posts that I have on Instagram, and I know how to find them now because I didn't a couple weeks ago. So we're just gonna have a look in here at all of the things I have saved. So some of them obviously are landscape, and then we also have some really beautiful, colorful sky, which is kind of fun. I think we just won't talk about where people live because we could just generalize if we live in Canada or in the United States. So Cassandra's asking specifically where someone lives. So let's not do that. All right. Then we have a building that was, I think that one is that's a challenge, an Instagram challenge. So people can try to create this image in their own style, which is sometimes kind of fun. Then these were birds. These ones have been on here since last time we did our stream. I'm still infatuated with birds though, so I would not object to more bird painting. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna ask Google to play us some, like, I don't know, bird sounds or something. One moment. I'm gonna mute this so that your Google does not get activated.
Music with birds singing, beautiful piano music and guitar music by Soothing Relaxation on YouTube Music.
So I'm going to put Cassandra in timeout in the chat. Hopefully Cassandra becomes more polite. Otherwise, I will remove them from the chat. Thanks. All right, timeout. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube chat. You have this ability. All right. Because, I mean, you can say pretty much anything that you want. If you say it nicely, that's okay. But when you start to use negative words and be bullying, then that's where I draw the line. All right. So we've got this one here is really pretty. This is a place near where I live where there's a lot of, they're called drumlins, which are like glacier rocks that are deposited, which is kind of cool. And this is a nice little yellow canary. Obviously, I'm still thinking about birds. This is also near where I live. It's a fishing village called Peggy's Cove. So that's a lovely spot. Let's see here. There are some sunsets, more birds, there's a shell. I've been thinking a lot about seagulls lately. That's a type of bird. And that's what I liked about this image, was that there were birds flying in different amounts of focus. That was kind of fun. And then this one, there's like a bird on the beach, but all of this reflection looked super fun and kind of challenging. I don't think I'm going to go with that one first, so I liked the neutrality of this one, where it's just a moon and just some ocean. Kind of fun. So, oh, and these are just specifically some challenges. I didn't get very far with creating this list, but that one's there's those two from a couple of weeks ago. But this one looks kind of fun. Draw Rose Stables. So I think I'll just hop into Pexels and see what I can come up with for maybe maybe a seagull, or I don't know. What are you guys feeling? Are you feeling more birds tonight? Or do we want to go with something completely different, like a building, or I don't know. This glass that I'm drinking from, I bought it in Italy a couple of years ago when I was traveling there. It's hand-cut crystal, so kind of a nice glass. I don't see any suggestions, although I might have paused the chat here by clicking on... Nope, I think Will's comment is the last one. Or maybe not. Music. Yeah, I have very quiet music. Can you hear it? Hey Google, volume up. Hey Google, volume up again.
The volume's at 6.
Okay, cool. How about trees? Yes, trees could be good. So I'm just gonna look here in Pexels, and let's just put in trees and see what it says. Because, you know, I'll be happy with whatever we paint. I'm not terribly fussy. Not terribly fussy. This one is interesting. It's like a path. Well, it's a path with different amounts of focus. So you're kind of drawn down through the path. That's interesting. This is a close-up of a very textured tree. This is just a tree. This is a misty background with trees in the foreground. That's kind of cool. We could do something interesting with the color of the mist and make the trees in the foreground more vivid than the ones in the background just by using some softening techniques for the midground. That's a possibility. Oh, guess I have to join Pexels if I want to favorite things. But that one there is definitely a possibility. And then let's keep looking. That one's like very Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings-ish. This is a very interesting looking lonely tree. Just hasn't sprouted its leaves yet, but the sun is coming up. Hey, Lindsay, you stayed up late. It's the weekend. Nice to see you. She likes the path one. And happy early birthday next week, Melinda. Getting closer. Getting closer. So Will's asking, how has my day been? And how am I? I'm pretty good. It's been a apology accepted, Cassandra. Thank you. So yeah, my day has been busy. Like I said, we painted my cousin's house today and got some other chores done. Went for a walk with a friend. It's a sunny day. It's been a pretty good week. I've been doing lots of art, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, this one is interesting. It's got it's always challenging to work on these bare trees to get all of the branches looking the way we might want to. So I'm kind of between this one and the path, which was way at the top. And also there was that misty one. Misty one was here, and the path is here. So this one has a lot of layers, and we have to really be careful to leave it light in the middle. So the idea with watercolors is it's always easier to add color than it is to take it away. So we want to make sure if we choose this one as our first image that we plan our levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a piece of a sketchbook, and I'm just going to just going to do a value study. So what that means is I'm just going to plan the image. So just going to put this here. Actually, before I get too far, I'm going to share the link with you guys. The one with the deer. Yeah, I like it too, but I'm not up for that much of a challenge tonight. Deer is a lot. Let's see here. Pixels. And we search trees. You might be able to find it faster than I can link it, but I'm just gonna link it for people who tune in later and don't have it. If it's pinned. All right, paste. Are you in Florida, Cassandra? All right, here's the Pexels link. Yeah, each will be challenging in its own way. None of them will be super easy. So I'm gonna pin this into the top of the chat so that you guys can find it if you want to. And bring the chat back on top. Perfect. I'm getting better at this. I'm less uncoordinated when it comes to keeping things moving on here. Right on. Well, it's nice to see 6 people at the very beginning. This is wonderful. So Cassandra's in Waterloo. I've never been to Waterloo, but I almost went to school there, and then I didn't. Okay, so looking at this picture, let's think about how we would divide this into thirds. Because when if you look through your phone viewfinder, everything gets divided into thirds. So there's going to be like, this is the middle, and these little crosses, these are kind of the areas that you want to give the more focus to. And if you look at this image, this is like right in here, this bright stuff. And then the darkest colors are going to be like this whole bottom section down here is going to be like darkest. And then it's going to contrast with this lightest area right in here, which kind of looks a bit like this shape. Actually, it gets even narrower. It gets narrow. It gets very narrow compared to the width. And then back here, this whole section is going to be like level 2. So we want level 1 and 2 in here. And then we want more level 2 back here. And then we're going to have some level 3 and then 4. So this was 4 and this is 2. And then everything in around here is kind of a mixture of 2, 3, and 4. Probably 2 and 4. 2 and 4. So the 4 can stand out nicely against the 2. So maybe 3 is back here. That looks like, if I was to turn this to black and white, that might be the best. So everything Shaden says, I was wondering, when did I start drawing? I started drawing when I was very young, and my mom's an artist. So I never took actual formal art classes. Well, I took 2, I think, my whole life. But because she's an artist, there was always art around, and I didn't need to look very far for a teacher. So I think my level 3 is just there. Maybe a bit up here is level 3 also. But I need this 4 to stand out against something, and it will stand out more against a 2 than it will against a 3. That makes any sense. So we're going to try to keep the lightest values. We're going to work first on keeping this light and washing things at level 2 so that we can build on top. I think that's established now. All right, so let's see how this goes. I've pinned the image. If you want to find it, it's pinned to the top of the chat if you want to paint or draw along. And I didn't put my paper on my board yet, so some of you might get ahead of me because I'm not fully ready, but it's only going to take a moment for me to do this. Hello, Mr. Kingfisher. You'll have to move. So this here. So yeah, I've been into art my whole life. My profession is piano teacher, and I was a public school teacher for a few years, but then I really loved teaching piano, which I've been trained to do. And I stopped teaching school. Okay, I had tape, here it is. So yeah, and I also, obviously then I taught drawing on YouTube. And basically I like to look for shapes in things, and the shape and the value of the colors, like how dark or how light. When I talk about value, I'm talking about darkness, not color. You can paint with any color as long as your values are right. It seems like people understand what they're looking at. But when things start to get confusing, it's usually because there's not enough contrast between your lights and your darks. So that's why at the end of most paintings, I go back and make as many dark things dark as I can. Little art. Yeah, little art is nice. And Lindsay says, I did something similar to the path, but phoenix based with a forest background, fire colors. Ooh, that would be amazing. See, and if you want to change the colors on this, you can. All you kind of have to do is be consistent with your value study. So if you would rather that your level 2s and 3s were rusty colors like oranges and yellows, that's perfect. Any colors you want to work with are a-okay. In fact, these ones are green, but I may or may not make mine green, depending on how I feel at the moment, in the moment, when I do it. All right, I'm just gonna get my other camera set up so that I have a record of this. I like to make time-lapse videos and watch them back, and the footage I get from these live streams is just not really good enough to save for anything. So unfortunately, my phone is only, because I was out helping with my cousins today, my phone battery is lowish. That's okay. It's high-ish enough that I can still do everything. All right. So usually I just like cut out all the audio and put some music over top. So the music I put over the top of my last time lapse is actually music that I created and played myself. All right, so hello everyone. We're ready to go. We're gonna paint some trees. Here's a little tip that I have started to do. So we talked about dividing the grid into all these sections. So what you can do is, if you're using some tape, you can mark on it to help yourself to see where those divisions are, and then line it up nicely. So I just have just any kind of black marker, but along this exposed edge, you could measure if you wanted to. I'm just going to eyeball it, but I'm going to mark thirds across the top here that are just going to sort of help me see the divisions, and then down the side too. So here's the middle, so thirds would be here and here. So that just helps me to see where these elements kind of land inside the middle. Hello, Merrick! Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Yeah, so that will help me with my value study. And then I'm going to, this keeps on zooming funny. I'm trying to make it regular size. I have to go back out and back in. Super zoomed in. If I turn it the other way. That's better. All right. Flip it so I can see it while I'm working. So I do have to decide what colors I'm going to work with, and whether I want to stick with the colors that are in the image, or whether I want to use artistic colors and make up my own. So I have to leave this, but I'll finish watching later. Okay, well, I'm so happy that you came by. Nice seeing you for the first time, Shaden, and we'll catch you later. And Melinda has her little art. That's good. Excellent. All right, so I'm trying to decide. Obviously, the path, I'm going to try to keep it a little bit tan, grassy, or not grassy, sandy colored. But as far as the trees go, it might be more interesting if they were more interesting than just plain green. So I'm just going to grab some of these palettes that I've been using, see if there's anything on any of them that inspires me. I think this was the Sandpiper brown. So I might use that for the path because there's probably enough there. So we don't need a lot. And then these are all the colors that I have on my current palette. Swatched them out last week. And so, and I like mixing colors. I don't like just use them straight out of the pan. So, there's that. Now, I'm just trying to think. I think I'm going to go with green. Do you know why? I struggle with green. And Lindsay says, thank you for the pin. Useful for study. Yeah, that's right. You can flip back and forth between tabs if you want to check out that image. And Belle says, it's almost 6 p.m. for me. I'm in Southeast US. Awesome. Awesome. I hope everyone had a good supper. What you guys all, what was your last meal that you had? Curious. All right, so I'm gonna go with green. I just have to decide which way I'm gonna mix the green. I need a clean mixing surface, so I'm gonna go with a plate. I have a really hard time cleaning off my palettes just because I like reusing the colors that I've had before, and then eventually I just clean them all off. But not yet. Oof, I'm making lots of noise. Today I'm noisy. All right, so let's go with the brown that I've already got pre-mixed here. That's going to be easy. And then I'm going to make some green. I would like it to be cheerful green. And I'm not just going to use green. I'm going to use blue and yellow because blue and yellow make green. And that will be great. And I'm just going to wet my paints. I did wet them before stream, but some of them look a little bit like they've already absorbed it. So I'm just going to spritz a little bit of water on top. I just have a water bottle that I spritz with, filled with water. And I have 2 containers of watercolor water. They're both clean right now. But the idea is to keep one super clean so that you can use that for dipping into your paint when you want to change colors and without making mud. So I'm not very good at keeping them separate. I always double dip or use my clean water, my paint. That's bad. Okay, enough chat. Let's get it going. We're going to go direct watercolor, so I'm not going to draw anything on the page first. Just going to start in with color. So we're going to remember what we talked about in our little sketch, which was that the path itself is close to the bottom of this third. In fact, I think it's a little bit lower than I drew it. I think it finishes at the top of this third. So if we put a little faint path right here, that would be good. Now I'm going to make sure my brush is clean because I got some new inks earlier and they are super staining with dark bright colors. And I'm not entirely sure that I got it all off my brush. And it would be very sad to have like blue all over this brush. Okay, so we're good. I've just used some kitchen cloth and no paint came off. Can I give you a shout out? Well, I do believe that I have said hello to you. Hello, Cassandra. So Lindsay, 10 p.m. Steak and salad. Yeah, that's a good, sounds like a very delicious dinner. 4 p.m. What time do you normally have your dinner? All right, so here I go. I'm gonna try to keep this pale, but for now I'm just gonna add a little bit direct and then grab a bit of water and move it. So here, this is the path, and it's gonna widen, and it's also gonna come behind this foreground. It makes its way all the way to the front. It gets really dark down here, so it's okay if we put more of this brown. But it's also dappled down here. So we're gonna try and have some light colors in amongst the dark. So we're not gonna totally load this darkly. And the general shape, I've already mixed up my water. Can you believe it? Like already used the wrong water. So this, I'm just making this into more of a rhombus or trapezoid, I don't know, triangle square thing. And then I'm gonna keep it dark on the bottom. And now, a little more darkness. We're going to have some green in through here. But we haven't mixed our green yet. So for now, we're just going to try and not overwhelm this area with too much color. Path, and then there's this side. Okay. Now, we're going to definitely keep some nice lights in here. I'm even going to pull a little bit of this off with a wet brush just to give it even more highlights. Maybe even use a bit of this paper towel. See if I can get a little bit closer to white. Are you using some watercolors, Cassandra? So I often feel like screaming help when I paint with watercolors too. They have a mind of their own. There's a YouTube channel called The Mind of Watercolor. I always laugh because it seems to have a mind of its own. So he's using some clever ideas there. All right, so we've got a little bit of really light brown and then some darker area here. Now this little section in the middle, I'm gonna try to leave some white just up here. And then I'm gonna go in with some green, which I have not yet made. So I'm gonna get a clean brush. And I think I'm gonna build this green out of Hansa Yellow Light, which is this one. And then, I wonder if this would be too cool. The turquoise. I could always cheat and add a little bit of one of my greens in, but Hansa Yellow and turquoise. I think that might work. I'm gonna try it. So we'll start off with some yellow. And we're gonna get quite a bit of that on our palette, just so we have it. Haven't had supper yet? No. Well, you'll have to have something delicious. All right, so that's a really bright yellow. It looks brighter in real life. I'm gonna do that thing I do, which is adjust the camera so that maybe the yellows match. Configure with color. Exposure, nope, white balance, that's the one. So let's see which way I need to go. Let's go to the far end of the scale. And I'll go far end to the other side. Whoa, that really turned things blue. So I think we need to go over here. Yeah, that's close. That's close to the yellow I'm using. Mine's a little more lemon than that. But not much. Let's just stick it there. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's nice of you to wait for your dad. You guys can eat together. All right, so I've now dedicated this first container. This is going to be my official dirty water. I'm going to put my clean water a little further away so I'm not tempted to use it. This is going to get really dirty. All right, now we're going to get some blue, and we decided on turquoise, which is in the corner. So turquoise is going to look like this. It's a very rich blue. Yeah, the blues are great. I love blue. Blue's like purple and blue are my favorite colors. So I feel like this is going to make a really nice, rich, neutral shade color later. So I'm happy that turquoise is the choice. And now let's just see what we get when we try to make some green. So just take a little bit of this and put it on here. See what we get. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not as neon as it could be. Now we're just gonna bring it this way and see if we can make it a more yellowy green. See what we get when we add more yellow. Yeah, that's okay too. I think we're gonna be safe. We'll be safe with this. I'm gonna make a fair amount of this medium green, just because I feel like we're gonna need a lot. The good news is we can make more if we need it because we've only used 2 colors and we know what they are. All right. So this green is a little punchier in person. It looks, I'm sorry, this looks more avocado on screen, and in real life it looks more green apple. It's more like green apple. All right. Well, I'm glad we're keeping you company then, Cassandra, if you're at home on your own waiting for Dad to get back. All right, so let's make sure we don't have too much paint on our brush, and let's get some water on our brush instead and clean it off. It's always good to make sure that your brush has enough water on it before you pick up your paint. If your brush is dry, you end up with a brush that won't give up the water when you try to use it. I'm doing a lot of talking, mostly because I'm scared to put the green down. All right, so we did decide to keep some white right up here. So I'm just gonna paint with water here a little bit. It's dirty water, it's got green in it, so we're gonna have basically, I left a little circle right there with nothing in it, so I can fill it in later if I decide to. And then I'm just gonna come all the way down until I get to my path. And in fact, I can really just do the whole background because there's gonna be more light green. So I really just left a little circle there, and now I'm painting with water. I could use a bigger brush for this. In fact, I'm going to. Seems to make sense to not use the smallest brush that you have to do a big area. So just spreading this, getting it all nice and soaked in. You know, so I can use the hairdryer. I can't remember the last time I dried my hair with the hairdryer. I just mostly use it for watercolors. It's okay. All right, so now we got this all nice and covered. Now we want to make sure it's not too covered. So I'm just looking for pools and trying to pull them off with my dry brush. And then we're gonna dance our brush around to make the idea of leaves using green. Okay, so goodbye, Cassandra. I'm sorry to hear you are upset, but I'm going to remove you from the chat. It's a paint and chill. We're not in a hurry here. All right, so we're going with this lightish green. I'm just gonna dab it everywhere. Again, mine looks like green apple in real life, not avocado. I mean, if you didn't want me to talk and you just wanted me to paint, wouldn't you just watch the replay videos? That seems like the reasonable thing to do. Live stream is a good place to chat. It's unfortunate when people are rude. I put her on timeout earlier. Yeah, exactly. She can have her own stream. Cassandra can have her own stream and talk all she wants. And art is fun, Melinda. Yeah, you're right. But I'm not worried about rude people. But I did encourage her already to try to be more polite, and I put her on timeout, and then she was rude again. So rude people need to learn that when you're rude, you don't get to continue. So that's fine. We do. We're not being rude. We get to continue. All right, so I feel like there's lots of green going on. Oh, I wish you could see this color. 7. Let's just one more time. We're gonna try and adjust this color. And I really do think it's the white balance that's off. So let's see. No, I'm not gonna get it. Something in there, maybe. That's super. What I have is closer to that. All right, we'll just call it something like that. So I've got this nice little white spot, and I am gonna put a leaf in it because I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be this white. So I'm just gonna like stick my brush in here to create a leaf, and maybe another small one. Just kind of give this now that my water's a little bit dry, I can start to get a little more specific with my shapes in some areas, not here, just to create more, less fuzzy, more specific. So we do have to wait a little bit though. It's still a bit on the wet side. We could start to bring those darker colors from the edges in. If you look at your reference, you can see that there's darker leaves kind of framing everything, and they're not particularly focused, especially back here. So let's see what we can do with that. I did have this kind of halfway medium green that's got a little more blue in it. And I'm gonna maybe call this number 2 for darkness. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit of this in just to give that variety of greens, because you know, it's not just gonna be one green in here. And it's quite dark at the bottom, so we're gonna anchor that. Yes, I often feel bad for rude people. I feel like they must be rude because they're unhappy. And that means that there's something in their life that they don't have control over. And so, yeah, Lindsay, go for it. No. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. All right. All right, so we've got some medium greens through here and some light medium greens. Well, I'm sorry that your sister is rude. If that was the case, easy excuse to make. Either way, you don't need to chat. You can always just watch. You and your sister can watch the stream and not chat. Alright. So we've got a really light spot here. We've got some ish light things down here. This is a challenging one, definitely. I think I need to dry it though in order to do the next thing. So I'm just gonna mute my microphone and blow this dry. All right. Okay, well, if it's not an excuse, then perhaps you can continue to be polite. Do I used to live stream a camera? So yeah, I have a C920. It's a Logitech webcam, and it's just sitting here on my shelf, looking down at my desk. And then I have my face cam on my laptop. That's all. Nothing fancy. All right. So I feel like everything here is dry. And we're going to figure out where to put the trees. So we're going to need a dark color. So we can't get as far as dark as we want to get with just this. We need a red. So options I have for red are alizarin crimson, pyrrole scarlet. Or I could go into purple, because purple comes with red built in. And purple is across the color wheel from green, which is kind of cool. I might go with this quinacridone purple, just to see what happens. So I'm gonna pull that onto the palette. Here it is. It's a nice deep royal purple. I feel like we're gonna need a fair amount of it. This is why I never want to clean my palettes. So I've got all this paint on here that I have used but not all finished using. And I might need it again. Alright, so we're gonna paint some dark trees. And the way we're gonna do that is by, I think I'll put the color directly on the page and then blend it on there. So, I don't know if you guys ever watched Tio. He's an urban sketcher, and he does lots of blending directly on the page, so it's crazy, and I don't know how he's so good at it, but so there's definitely this one tree kind of leaning here from the corner and heading out. So I'm going to go like this, and lift, and lift, and lift, and then down, and it's going to sit right here. So that was purple. So now I'm going to take the same brush, cleaned off, and put some blue over the top. And that's just going to darken my color. And then I'm also going to add yellow, because that's going to desaturate it. It's going to give us almost a black. Ooh, I splooped it. That's not a word, but whatever. So you can see that it's almost a rainbow color of brown. It's a rich brown. So now I could do, now that this brush has got all kinds of things on it, I can go through here and just start to add some more hints of trees all through this. They have to hit the ground, but they don't have to stay connected because they are, there's going to be leaves in between. That's what I'm trying to say. So the other one's going to end down here. It's going to start up here. Same idea though. We're just going to have like the hints up here. And then as we get closer to the bottom, this tree is looking a little more black than my first one. This one looks more brownish, multicolor. And then I'm mixing up all of this together on my palette, making kind of a messy goop. With green and blue and purple, just to darken this up a little. And then I can do the same. This brush is getting thinner, so like there's less water on it, or less paint, so I'm just gonna grab some of these mid-ground trees and put them in. And then some little thin ones here. And there's one this close, smallish tree. There's a bigger one back here. It's leaning kind of funny. So I'm gonna come across. This is gonna feel dark. I'm gonna unload a little bit of my paint here on this closer tree before I go back in on this one. And okay, so now there's going to be just some little flicks back here that are trees that are really pale. So more water, less paint, and just the hints of trees back here. And some branches that come out into the middle. I have no idea if this is going to look any good. When I'm painting with watercolors, I get to this point where I'm never sure. Oh, I must have missed some things. All right. And we're all here to learn and chill. That's true. I don't want want to bring anyone down. I'm feeling really numb. I guess it's a mixture of me missing my mom and wanting to be happy with someone. Yeah. It is. I think you have to be happy with yourself first, which is not easy when you're missing someone. Yeah. So I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. But I'm happy that you're joining us on our stream. Yeah, so bye Cassandra, have a good dinner. Hope your sister treats you well. All right, so we're gonna leave this part bright, but we're gonna start adding some of these little shadows. So I'm just gonna grab some of that blue and purple, really watery, and start to add this little like side to side motion. It's a little darker than I wanted it to be, so I'm just gonna add some more water. And might just use my towel, my kitchen towel, and pull some of that off too. You're welcome, Will. I know it's not easy when you lose someone that you love. She would want you to be happy, and she would want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I know it's not easy when you're grieving, but so you have to try to find the good things in your day and the good people in your life and focus on those, because it's easy to get pulled down by the negative things that are happening or the things you're missing or doing without. It's easy. That stuff is always right there waiting. But you're doing the right thing by sharing about it and also doing things for yourself, like watching some YouTube or relaxing. And you will be happy with someone someday. Just, you can't rush that. Can't rush it. And you want them to be happy with you as the best version of you that you are. Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. It's important. It's important to feel like you have a support group. Like, that's part of life. Having people that you can even just distract yourself with. It's not always that they need to do things for you. Sometimes it's just, you just need them to distract you. So this is a mixture again of purple, blue, and green. And I'm just gonna pull it like roughly, kind of half dry brush. Like when my brush runs out of paint here, I'm gonna be okay with that. Because I want to be able to see some of this texture through. But I also want it to be more purple than blue. I'm gonna desaturate this a little bit. This is gonna be a very interesting painting because so far it looks nothing like I thought it would. That's okay. That's the thing about watercolors, is that they end up like, it's the mind of watercolor, right? Like that guy's channel. It has a mind of its own. You have to work with what it does. So it throws you surprises, just like life. And then it's what you do with them. It's how you work, how you interpret what just happened in a new way to make it more like you had hoped, or better than you hoped, but not what it was trying to just do, or not what you expected it to do. I need a little bit of red in here. That's much better. So I just grabbed a tiny little bit of alizarin crimson, and it just desaturated everything I was working with, which is exactly what I wanted. It was getting too blown out and soft. And over here I need more paint. It was starting to look white a little bit because it was pulling off. The water was lifting the paint underneath it. Anytime that happens, you just need to thicken up your paint so that you're covering with paint instead of lifting with paint, if that makes any sense. Yeah, thanks, Will. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like how it's looking, but so far so good. It's not horrible, but it's not what I was expecting. So I'm just gonna leave this because I feel like some things are gonna happen down here that might turn interesting. I don't want to cover this little reflective area too much. I'm feeling like it's needed to keep the balance. But I am going to add some shadows in between the trees back here. So I'm just going to start going over this with random plops of medium light, but I'm going to try to leave this area here not overly covered. But it's pointing toward the middle. So that's another thing about art, is you want to have a focal point that's pointed to. So this little section I just drew, it's a triangle, and it's drawing your eye into this middle section. And then over here, we're going to try to create the idea of a layer of underbrush in this little area. And while this is really watered down, really not much pigment on my brush, I think I might just go in here a little bit and just add some desaturated background trees that are coming into the middle, but not too much. Something undistinguishable, but I will create something back here. The human brain wants to create structure. So it's always trying to make something out of nothing and understand what it sees. So that's what that is. Those are like shrubbery. It's like a Monty Python reference. I don't know if you guys are Monty Python fans? Question mark? If you know about Monty Python. Shrubbery. The Knights Who Say Ni. It's from a very long time ago. Alright, so over here we're going to add another little layer on top of our shrubbery. This one I picked up a little more yellow in it. And then we need to do something with this. This is kind of soft. Okay, great, Melinda. Yeah, send me messenger of your images, of your art. Just gonna grab a sip of my apple juice. So we need leaves. We have to make sure we have enough soft detail back here. I wish I had done that when it was wetter, but I used my hair dryer and then it was too late. So I have to be careful not to put too much more like browns and dark things. A waterfall. I'm Aquarius too. Nice. Yeah, I think a waterfall would be a great challenge. I sort of stick with what I know. I always try to grow, but at the same time, it's easy to do the things you know how to do, and then is what it is. All right, so I'm just making some random plops with green to create the idea that there's some actual leafage going on in here. Foliage. Random plops of green. And I'll add some more yellow into this green to brighten it up a little. Because we don't see every leaf, but we do want it to feel like leaves. I'm going to start coming over this middle with these little plops. I don't know if we lost Sam. Sam was here earlier. He's been very quiet. Maybe he's diligently painting. Oh, so there we go. A Gemini. Oh, Danila. I didn't even know you were here. But greetings, and thanks for stopping in. And it is late in Poland. Can't stay up past forever. But it's nice when people tune in. It's one of the nice things about live streaming and YouTube in general is that people from all over the world can connect. And you guys keep me company while I'm painting. I'm also trying to, I'm trying to get 100 subscribers on my new channel, because then I can name it. You can give your channel an actual name once you have 100 subscribers. So like youtube.com/doodledrawart. You can't do that until you have 100 subs. So this brand new baby channel has only got like 50 something subs. But it's a brand new baby channel, so that's okay. Anyway, that's my first channel goal, is to have 100 subs by the end of May. That sounds like a good goal. And then I'd like to have 1,000 subs by the end of the summer. That sounds ambitious, but maybe I can do it. And the best way to build a channel is through content and live streams and getting to know your viewers and finding out what people like. So do you guys watch my videos when I release them? Do you watch my new releases, my time lapses? What do you like the most about my channel? Do you like time lapse? Do you like live streams? Do you like them both? I mean, obviously I can't live stream all the time, but I can live stream once a week, no problem. All right, so it's starting to look like a little overbrush now. So, all right, what does it need? It needs lots of things. So far, it's very basic. So, I'm gonna darken up the darks in a bit. But I'm also gonna try to keep some of this neutral. And I do need some more dark green. So let's do that. Let's make some more dark green leaves. So I've got this green stuff going on. I'm gonna pull some more blue into it, just to deepen that up. I've got all this beautiful swirly mixture of everything. Pull a tiny bit of purple into these leaves just to take the edge off, just to neutralize them slightly. Purple and green are across the color wheel from each other, so when you mix them you get gray. So it takes the brightness out of everything when you add the opposite. So I'm going to darken. I know I'm safe to do darkness like around the corners, at the edges I should say. I should have mixed more paint. I thought I had mixed a lot, but apparently not. I wish I was ambidextrous. I was watching a live streamer on Instagram yesterday. She picked up her brush and she started working with the opposite. Hey, MAS, nice to have you join my stream. Thanks for tuning in. So just peeking here. My best friend and cousin Gemini. And then traits. I'm not sure I understand. Did I miss something? It's hard for me to see the whole chat, and when I scroll up sometimes it goes too far. What's your traits like? We love helping in nature. Oh, what are Gemini's traits? What types of personality do Geminis have? MAS, it's going good. We're talking about astrology and watercolors. Oh, and Sam is still here. He's getting mud mix colors. Mixing colors is hard. Yeah, it is hard. It's very easy to get mud. But you know, there's some mud in this picture. It's a path. So there's that. Some tricks to not get mud are, I think, clean water. That's important. I should know. Clean water, and also then when you mix, try mixing just two colors. Try not to mix a third color. And then I think it matters if they're cool or warm shades of the color that you're mixing. So, like for example, there's two reds on my palette. One of them is more purple and the other one is more orange. And the one that's more purple is a warm red, and the one that's more yellow is a cool red. And I think it matters. I think the mud sometimes happens when you have the wrong balance of like a cool blue. So like, let's think about this, because I need to know too. If you mix something that's opposite on the color wheel, you get gray or mud. So if you're trying to avoid mud, you want to try to avoid mixing colors that have components that are opposite. So if you mix a red that is a warmer red, so a more purpley red, a cooler red. Which one is it? Yellow is warm and blue is cool. So purple, if the red is purpley, call that a cool red. I don't know. If the red is more purpley and you mix it with a yellow that's more greeny, then you're gonna get mud. That's my story. I don't exactly know how to explain it better than that. It's easy for me to talk about. I know that red is hot or warm and blue is cool. So if things lean blue, then they're definitely cool. And when they lean red, they're definitely warm. But what is like yellow is a primary color. So if a red leans blue, then the red is a warm red. And when the red leans yellow, it must be the opposite. So it's a cool red. Okay. But it doesn't look cool in my brain. Yeah, so there's that. So I can't look at my images on, I think you sent me a picture on your messenger, but I can't look right now because I'm streaming. MAS says, I've been a sub since the cartoon character head drawing video. Woohoo, I do remember it. I drew them all different shapes, triangle shapes and ovals, and that's awesome. Yeah, you're welcome, Sam. I'm not sure how much help it was. And Will says, I don't know how much, but something I highlighted in Google and put my stories. It says, we stay young at heart forever. I have to admit, I think that's true, and I'm really childish sometimes. So yeah, I know some Geminis, and they're pretty young at heart. And Lindsay says she uses tissues to keep her brush clean. Yeah, that's definitely a good tip. Okay, so I've kept my light section nice and bright. That's good. I'm happy with that part. So now I'm just filling this in with dabs of something that looks like green. And it's looking kind of muddy, just as Sam has articulated. And I do want to put in some little branches or something that looks like branches. I feel like I'm going to use my fountain pen for that, so I'm just going to dry this off. So first I'm going to mute the microphone. Okay, so I just have to wait for this to cool off because once I blow it dry, it gets really hot. Yeah, being young at heart is a nice trait to have because it keeps, you know, the younger you feel, the younger you are. The younger your disposition toward life is. All right, so I've got a couple pen options. I think I'll maybe use my Tombow. So this is a brush pen. I don't know if any of you guys have used these, but it's got a really interesting little tip on it that is soft a little bit and kind of pointy there. Sometimes I see YouTubers do this all the time. It's like, focus on my hand. Doesn't really work. I don't know if the autofocus is turned on. There we go. So it's a soft, flexible, pointed tip. So I can make some small marks, and then I can also make some deeper marks. And that's the idea behind a brush tip pen. And this one's made by Tombow, which is a Japanese company. All right, so what I want to do is I want to hint at the idea that there's some little branches coming off of these tree trunks. So I'm going to darken them eventually. So this might look too dark at first, but that's going to be okay. So I really want it to be random. So I'm gonna try my best to maybe hold my pen a little bit far back, and then stay with just the very point of the pen, and then bring it over. I'm not gonna like this painting. I've decided it's not gonna be my best work. So I have to figure out why. That's okay, right? When you do something that doesn't turn out, you have to learn something. Today I'm gonna learn what I didn't like about this painting. I'm leaving that open because I want to have... Maybe I'll like it more once I do the really dark. Like, I'm gonna go back over these trees with some strength, and it might be exactly what we needed. So now I'm trying to be super delicate because I don't want it to fill in my lightest area here. And I'm also breaking these lines. I'm not making like super solid lines because the idea is that there's going to be leaves in the way in some places. And I am going to thicken up some of them as they get closer to the trees, because the branches are thicker when they get closer to the trees. Yeah, I never like my paintings when there aren't enough darks in them. Like when everything looks like midtones, I'm like, I don't like it. But then somehow I rescue it, and then the next day I kind of like it. So I guess that's a lesson in not being too judgmental of your own work. Because if I quit right now, I definitely would not like this image. But if I press through, then it'd be okay. Oh, say hi to your dog. I wonder what kind of dog you have. Just scrolling up. I love art too. And yeah, we all do. That's why we're here. And Melinda has an art book. And MES's favorite is drawing. Lots of things. Has to feed their dog. Love doing birds and nature and water. One thing I'm good at is drawing. My favorite thing is dragons and phoenixes. I love phoenixes. Belle says, do you consider yourself as what websites describe your zodiac sign? I do, yeah. Generally. I mean, I don't like to be categorized, but whenever I read things about Aquarius, it's usually pretty accurate for my personality type. What about you? You don't have to tell us what your zodiac sign is, but do you feel like it matches the way you feel your personality is? I think probably you can generalize those about anybody. Like, we all have those variable characteristics, and we can relate to most of those things somehow. Or maybe some people adapt to become more like their astrological sign because they were told that that's the kind of personality they're likely to have. Okay, I can always add more of these branches later. Don't want to have too many. So now I'm going to use neutral tint, which is not a color. It's just a dark gray that doesn't really lean in any direction. And I'm going to fill in these darker tree trunks because it's a safe way to do it without me adding more color or creating mud. So grab my little plate with all these colors. I'm just going to stick it over here where my grays were. You can see it's really dark, powerful. And I'm just gonna pull a little bit of the water off this is the ferrule of the brush, and it had some water drips on it. Switched brushes. I'm using my Princeton long round, and it's got a nice tip on it, and it also holds lots of paint, which is helpful when you're trying to paint a lot of things. So here we go. We're gonna add more dark color without overwhelming this whole picture. So all of these little tree branches, tree trunks, need to be more sturdy. So I'm just darkening them up. And again, I'm leaving gaps, but I'm not always leaving them exactly in the same spot that they were in before. because that makes it kind of interesting. And I could... So helpful to have a brush that holds a lot of water. Oh, I'm out of focus. Not sure how to get back in focus. I know how. Go to the autofocus feature on my camera control and turn it on. There we go. I think it's snapped back in. Sorry about that, guys. Right at the point where I'm adding the nice dark colors, all of a sudden you can't see anything. So, again, I think I still have enough paint on here. I'm going to continue to add more strength, but not on the entire tree, just in the places where I want to. And then I'm going to carry that all the way down. I do need more paint though. I'm running out there. Grab some more. So yeah, adding more darks is a way to disguise some of the mud that you create in an image, because it brings a little more contrast to the rest of the image, and then you're less upset about the mud that you created. So it's looking better, isn't it? Keeping my chat busy, it's all good. I don't know much about zodiac signs. Yeah, I don't really either. I think they're kind of fun to think about, but I don't really know. I'm not an astrologer. Okay. This is better. So now I'm just going to add some like small bits of trees that weren't there yet in this background. And there's one bigger branch there, kind of from each side, that's like reaching. And again, I'm not using much of the brush here, just a very, very, very faint little edge. That's getting better. See? Quitters never win. Winners never quit. I mean, sometimes we do. Sometimes you need to quit. There's a time to quit. It's good to know when it is. I feel like these branches make all the difference in this image. I think without all this extra branching, and it's all broken lines, I think it had a very overworked, sort of particular look about it. So this is helpful. Now I'm just making shorter ones back here that end along the path edge. And my brush is also losing its paint, so it's not as dark as it once was. And I'm trying to keep this line kind of angling in some kind of a perspective so that like the tops of the trees are like bringing themselves down. I know that's not what the real image is doing, but I feel like it gives something along the lines of realism on here if I do that. Okay, it's looking a little better. Now I definitely need to pull in more darks in my front edge. Oh, thank you. I'm trying my best to do good work. So down here, it's too bright compared to the trees. So I'm just gonna wet my brush and see what I can do to dapple in some extra gray. Oh, and there's little shadows that come in here too, specifically from the trees. So I'm gonna do that too. Because this is all shadows from the what do you call that? The understory? The tree branches. So the shapes are almost like on the ground, similar to what a tree is like in the sky. Just not really defined, and also not very regular. Thicker and darker in some areas, mostly by the trunks here. I'm gonna pull some of this up into the tree so it doesn't look like it started dark all of a sudden at the bottom. So that would be funny. And then just dance my brush in this wet paint to give it more texture in the shadows. And then I'm gonna really deepen these corners to anchor the photo or the image, even though that might not be how it really looks. Because artistically, we need a frame. So Belle's sign is a Leo, according to what they say. I don't believe I'm described as Leos, maybe accepting 2 characteristics. Fun fact is that compliments I get come from what strengths of Leos are. Okay, so well, if people compliment you on the things that are the strengths of Leos, then you must have the traits of at least those things. It's late for me, so you're lucky I have insomnia. I'm sorry that you have insomnia, but it is nice that you're still here. All right, so now I need to darken up just a little bit here to give it some weight, and maybe something through here too. Not too much though. It's getting to be not so horrible. I like it less. I dislike it less now that I've deepened up some color. So now I'm just trying to get whatever green is left on here, and I'm adding this bit of neutral tint into it. I'm gonna scrub some more green out. There's blue over here, there's yellow over here. I can neutralize it myself with a little bit of purple. It still has a green quality, so I haven't totally mudded it. But I have to be careful, so I could. Alright, so this is more vibrant, that's less vibrant. And I'm just gonna add like one more coat. Being careful to leave some of those light greens, because the light greens are nice, but there's too much white on the page. So I'm just gonna fill in some of this randomly, but not all of it. I definitely need to have some light showing through. That was the whole reason we left light stuff on there, was so we would have it later. But I have to be careful not to. My trunks are still re-wettable, so that could lead to danger. Danger Will Robinson, which is from, what's the name of that space? What's that show? I watched some of it and then I stopped. Was it on Netflix? Space. Oh, what was that called? Somebody must know. It was pretty good. Why did I stop watching it? Okay, so this top edge needs to definitely not be bright. Down the side here. Okay, I'm about to pull the tape off. I feel so done. The next thing I paint is going to be easier than this. But I'm glad we had a challenge. Yeah. Lost in Space. That's it. Thanks, Sam. Yeah. I'm kind of I like space fiction. I enjoy Star Trek. I've been watching the Discovery. I think I'm a season behind, though. I've been watching it on Crave. So I don't think no spoilers if you're watching Discovery. I'm only at that part. I don't want to say, maybe other people are watching it too. I don't want to give you spoilers, so. So now I'm just making sure I definitely have shadows where these particular trees are, because that's what's caused these shadows. So I'm just pulling the color out of them to create more variety of color and shadow. That's not too bad. This could have been a lot worse. I'm okay with it. May 19th. I'll try to remember, Melinda. That's a busy day for me. We've got a recital that day, but I'll try to remember. MAS is a Taurus and describes you well. Yeah, Tauruses are like grounded, aren't they? Aren't they like sort of... I think sometimes they're like all in, maybe? Like a bull charging in. But I feel like they have a level sort of feet on the ground kind of approach to life. Practical. All right. I have to hold it up to look at it just because I'm not sure. I wonder if I hold it up to this webcam if you get a better view of the actual colors. Let's see. Yeah, see how much brighter those are? I don't know why this overhead webcam doesn't give the correct colors, but it's kind of what I'm seeing versus this is kind of gray, dull. I'll do one more time because it's getting darker in here too. The white balance is probably shifted. So let's see. White balance. That one. Maybe there. Okay. No, it's not much better, is it? It's about the same. On May 19th, look in Messenger. I'll try. Sam's a very big fan of sci-fi. What's your go-to series? Do you have a go-to sci-fi series that you enjoy? And Lindsay's asking about galaxies and waterfalls. A couple streams back, we did a galaxy, 2 galaxies. I don't generally paint galaxies, but I have. I've never painted a waterfall. It sounds challenging. All right. I think I'm just gonna blow this dry and then initial it and call it. So I'm gonna mute you guys one more time. There we go. Ah, Star Trek. Yeah, there you go. Star Trek is a good one. Okay, so it's gonna be fun to pull the tape off of this one because the edges are super messy. So let's do it. Let's pull off the tape. Put my initials down here, and then we're gonna pull off the tape. Here we go. It's gonna be so beautiful. Ooh, look at that line. And then we'll do the top. And when the painting feels messy and then you remove the messy tape, it makes such a big difference. Oh, it snuck under. So sometimes when it sneaks under like that, you can use like a magic eraser and just erase it, or you can use a, what do you call those? Like a jelly roll or some other kind of white marker to cover it up. All right, so it's all right. It'll look better if you watch the replay because it's a lot more vivid in real life, as you could see when I held it up to the screen here. It's not really in focus, and my boom mic is in the way. Mic boom? My mic boom? The thing. The arm. Boom arm. Which that'll go out of focus. Yeah. It's not focusing that close. It's not designed to do that sort of thing. Alright. So I've got another painting in me. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I definitely don't want to stop there. I like it okay, but it's not like 100% what I expected. I'm going to show you the original. A waterfall with a galaxy background. That sounds amazing. I would probably do that in acrylic though, because with acrylic you can mix colors so much more easily. So there's a comparison. There's definitely more levels of color in the original than what I ended up with. So I could add some whites. That would maybe help. Like if I just dropped in some white. Thanks, MAS. I'm glad you like it.
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll be back at like 9:30 the latest, but I don't think I'll be...
Are you meeting anyone or?
No.
Okay. Just got your phone with you?
What?
Got your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, see you later. Alright. So, that was painting number 1. Let's do another one. I'm glad we practiced that, though. I definitely needed the practice, obviously. Alright, so set that aside. We'll look at it again later and see what we think of it then. And now we have to decide what the next thing is going to be. So let's pull up my iPad. Let's see what else we might decide on. So I'm so stuck on seagulls right now. Let's do a seagull. See what we can come up with here. Oh, that's a Google search. I wanted a Pexel search. Here we go. I want to do one like like this, like with the, you know what I'm saying? The different levels of shading. I like the blue background. He's standing on a post. I feel like this is the one. Reminds me of Scotty. I painted a couple of images of a seagull. They're just behind me on my desk here. I'll show them to you. If you watch my videos, you've already seen all of these, but I painted this seagull on a flagpole. And I also painted this seagull standing on a rock near a lighthouse. So now I'd like to do a more realistic seagull, because those ones are sort of cartoony. So I will throw this link in. Oh yeah, I'm glad MAS. If you want to tell me your first name, I'm happy to know it, because I can use your initials, but it would also be easier to know your name. But no biggie, or a name you'd like me to call you, because it doesn't need to be your real name. It's the internet. Copy link, address. Back to the stream, chat. Paste. Enter. And pin. Replace the pinned message. Okay, so this is the new reference. And it's this little seagull standing on a post. And we're going to do negative painting, so we're going to paint the outs. We're not going to do any lines. We're just going to grab it. I think painting nighttime and any water is super hard, but so beautiful. Yes, nighttime is hard. Oh, it's Mason! Well, that's easy to remember because it's the first 3 letters of your handle. Yeah, painting things at night, and even, yeah, the light levels are tricky to get right. And water is also tricky. So this little guy has super cute feet. What happened to him? I'm trying to zoom it in, but I just keep getting too much zoom. He has got super cute little feet on that little pole. And I like that there's some texture in the post. And I like that we can see the bottom shadow underneath his belly. That's gonna be nice. So we can grade that up with water. And then there's like 2 levels of wings on the side. And then he's got a nice orange beak and sort of an orangey green eye. So whatever we use for this yellow, we'll use the blue from the sky to just tint his eye a tiny bit to make it the right green. And we'll probably mix this yellow with some red. We'll probably grab a really light yellow, the one we were just using, that Hansa yellow light, and mix our own orange with a little bit of like a scarlet red, a pyrrole scarlet. So if I was using my Cotman colors, I would use lemon yellow, cadmium red, one of the cadmiums, doesn't matter which one, and then maybe cerulean blue. And then you should be able to mix your gray with those 3 as well. I think Sam is using Cotman colors, so he might have those. I'm not going to go into all the detail down here. I might put this little, we'll see. So he has got this nice wash of blue in the background, and it's super bright blue across here. And then that's land, but it has a blue shade because it's so far away that it's hard to see the color. Okay, so that's gonna be fun. When you do negative painting, you paint around the object that's gonna stay white. Bye, Melinda, have a good dinner. And it's also your initials, that's kind of fun. Mason's initials and Mason's first 3 letters of their name is also the same. That's fun. That doesn't work for me. Okay, so what do I want to paint first? Do I want to paint the seagull first, or do I want to paint the sky first? I think I'm gonna do the seagull first, and I'll add the sky later. I don't think I trust myself to be able to draw the shape of the seagull in sky and then fill in without making mistakes. So that's decided. Okay, same size, more paper, more tape. Okay, yeah, I'm making you stay with bird art. Well, I mean, you should probably get some sleep. Maybe take some melatonin and try to get some rest. Do you have to work tomorrow? Because if you do have to work tomorrow, sleep is important. You have to get up early. You should try to get some sleep tonight. I don't have to get up early tomorrow. It's also not late for me. I should check the weather. It was a beautiful day today. It was perfect for painting. My son has a day off tomorrow, and we were gonna try and do something. Midnight. Midnight's not too bad. If it was like 1 o'clock or 1:30, that's getting late, but midnight's not too bad. You could probably last another 20 minutes. Maybe the seagull will be done before that. If not, you can always just watch the last part of the live stream later. It's not nearly as much fun to watch the replay, and I'll probably, if the bird turns out, I'll probably do time lapse, because I love watching those back. I do them as much for myself as I do for my channel. And like, nobody ever answered my question earlier. I asked you, what other things besides live streams do you like on Doodle Draw, or no, on Art by Lisa, on this channel that you're on right now? And I wonder if you tune in to the videos that I upload. So Mason has a dog and 2 rabbits. That sounds super fun. And I don't have any pets right now, but my brother has a dog, and she visits a lot, so that's nice. All right, just get my iPad set up over here so I can look at it. Now, I definitely don't need purple. I need blue and yellow and red. So I'm needing blue and yellow and red. Probably can work with this one. I can use this one for my blue. I've already got yellow mixed with some kind of neutral red. So I can use that orange. And I'll just clean off these two, which is easy. I'm just gonna spray a little water into the reservoir and then grab my kitchen red towel and clean those up. There. So now I've got lots of room in this palette. I'm going to use the blue and I'm going to use this yellow orange. Don't work till Monday. That's awesome. Live and replays. Nice. I have 30 little birds, budgies, and 2 dogs, and an Amazon parrot. Wow. I hear those live to be really old. How old is your parrot and what color? The Amazon specific colors, or like is it a color? When you say Amazon parrot, do you mean like green parrot or white parrot, or look how dirty this water got. I'm just gonna get rid of it, move it far, far away. But I also have this nice clean water that I was using before, and I thought I had another water container here. Oh, it's in the kitchen, but it's already been filled. Let's grab it. Okay, clean water. My art studio is in what should be the dining room, but who needs a dining room? Drawing, painting, all the things. It's been 100 minutes? Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. So, let's grab a clean towel, paper towel. And then we'll have everything we need for a fresh painting. I was feeling kind of tired before I started the stream today. I wasn't sure I was going to be into it, but then you guys all showed up right on time, and it was like awesome. You like the live streams more? Yeah, well, it's more interactive. Totally. I mean, we can have a conversation. Can't do that with a video. All right, so let's get some colors going here. For blue, I think I'm going to use a phthalo blue green shade for my like sky water, and then mix with whatever blue is already on here. I don't even know what is on here. So I'm just going to load this up for later. And I've already got my yellow. Now I'm gonna need a gray, and it looks really moon glow. The gray looks like this, so I might start with that as my gray, and then pick up something else to go with it, like mix it with a bit of blue if I need to tone it, or mix it with a bit of yellow because it's purpley. So I'm gonna use this as like, it's a nice granulating color, so it has lots of texture. Alright, so really I'm just going to start with that, and I will at some point need a little tiny bit of the bright yellow that's going to be clean and not this orangey mix already. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this when I do his eye. Now, here comes the fun. And I'll need something for the post as well, because he's standing on a post. Alright, so start this other camera so that it's possible to make a time-lapse video if I should decide to. Hopefully I don't run out of memory on my camera. Might be getting kind of full. Do I have a streaming schedule? Generally on Fridays, but at this time. But we've been in lockdown, so I've done a few bonus ones lately on Wednesday, just because my work schedule works with Wednesdays. And that's about all I could say for my schedule. Wednesday sometimes, mostly Friday. Okay, so this is where the bird's head is gonna go. And the neck, you can't see this because I'm painting with water right now. And then the big chubby belly here, also water. And then it's gonna come down a little lower at that left side. And then his neck. Birds don't really have necks. They have neck areas, but it's not like a human neck. And then we have this darker area. And then down here is little tail feathers. And we're gonna bring this in. So all I've done right now is sort of drawn the outline with my watercolors, with my water. And I'm going to use my moon glow, and I'm going to start dabbing it to form little edges. So definitely have some dark color down here and along here. And we know he's got this big wing area, so we can go ahead and fill this with some darker color. And now the pigment's leaving my brush, which is good because I want to add a little bit of shading in over here. And I'm going to bring this up, water, across and down. Grab that water. I like the play of the paints when they mix around in the water. So sometimes I'll just rub the water and then let the paint join it. This is just plain water now, no paint, just to soften this edge and let it morph. Oh, did I? I did. For a second I was worried I hadn't put up the new reference. But one of you would have told me. Hi Lisa, look. Hi. So you have a blue fronted Amazon. She's green with a yellow face and blue around the eyes. Mostly green body and blue and orange on the wings. That sounds beautiful. And they live for 50 to 70 years. She's 7, wow, and acts like a toddler too. Yeah, I know they have real personalities. My aunt used to have a pair of parrots when I was a little girl. And they were, I think she got them from an old lady, and they were already kind of old when she got them, and then one of them passed away, and so she gave the other one to somebody that had another parrot that was lonely. So because she knew that that one parrot wasn't going to be very happy because it had always been with another one. So that was a long time ago. But they were super fun. They talked. Does your parrot talk? Does it know words? And how do they learn them? Like, how long does it take for a bird to start learning to say human words? And does it imitate like the phone ringing or other random noises around? That's so neat. I love the idea of having a parrot, but I don't really probably have the time to take care of one properly, and certainly not 50 to 70 years. Because you do have to like leave them in your will to somebody who will look after them properly. Unless you get them when you're little, young. Okay, this is going to be a seagull, but right now it just looks like a figure 8. All right, setting up a campfire. That sounds like super fun, Mason. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again at another stream, maybe next Friday. Have a good campfire. And And Belle says, has anyone ever complimented your voice? I just love it. I think it suits every part of you. Thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I actually do voiceover work for radio. So I guess other people like my voice too. When I remember when I was younger, it doesn't bother me now, but when I was younger, I used to hate my voice. Like I would not want to hear it recorded. It was just so annoying. I'm getting this orange now. I'm going to try adding the beacon. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. So here comes this nice orange bill. Here's the tip of the bill. It's a little, this part's a little darker orange, but I think I'm going to end up with mostly one color. What I could do is I could just make like the seam between the top of the bill and the bottom of the bill with this dark orange. Come straight in there, and then I could grab my lighter yellow with a nice clean brush. I said that for myself as much as anything. So grabbing some pure like lemon yellow, and then I'm just gonna run it along the top of the bill, and then a little bit underneath, and then I'll just blend it out with more water. My brush was kind of dry, now it's kind of wet. Can't win. There's some variability in there, that's okay. And then a little more of this orange, just to exaggerate the curve and like overbite or whatever that is on the bird's, the tip of a bill. I bet Lindsay knows all the names for those things. All right, it's 8:23. I think we have 20 more minutes left, I'm guessing. If I had to guess how much longer I'd be streaming, I would say 20 more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna put the eye in. So I'm just gonna add this really bright yellow right here over that gray that was already in that spot. Now, this bird needs more work, but I'm gonna do the blue now. And turn it upside down. And I'm going to, first I'm gonna do the sky. So I'm going to decide where that land ends. And I'm going to pick there on both sides. So my horizon line is fairly straight, and then I'm just going to grab a bigger brush so I can put lots of water on my paper. And I'm going to avoid getting water on the seagull. So I'm going to come in close but not touch, because the watercolor will only stay where things are connected and wet. So if I don't let it touch my existing painting, then I don't have to worry about it making a mess inside the bird's body. Alright, that's pretty close. I don't want to get any closer than that. I feel like it would be asking for disaster. So maybe I'll just get this smaller brush and experiment, test the fates. I'll know if I touch it because it'll pull whatever's already on the bird into the sky. It'll make a little bloom. Alright, that was dangerous. Whatever I just did there, if I didn't touch, I'm lucky I didn't touch, so I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna get a nice wet brush, pick up some of that blue, phthalo blue-green shade. And now I'm just gonna blend it out all through the sky here. It's nice and wet, so I don't have to work too quickly. And I do want to leave some white for clouds, the idea of clouds. So we'll see what happens here. I'm holding my breath. It happens. I do it a lot when I'm painting. Anytime I'm trying to do something careful, I end up with holding my breath. Alright, now I'm going to turn it the other way and let it blend back down from the top. And then I'm going to pull some clouds out by dabbing. Let's see what we can do here. See how dangerously we can live. Getting in close to this seagull. I need my close-up glasses on. You could teach a bird in a few hours something new if you're committed. Wow, my bird says words, her favorite being hello, which means food for her, and blowing raspberries. Oh, that would be hard to teach her. I wonder what their range is for, like, different sounds, like syllables, or obviously they're very talented at controlling their vocalizations because they do manage to say things that sound like human words. There was a bird we stayed with some friends for a bit. She was a vet, and they had a bird, a parrot, and it would call out to the husband in the identical voice to the wife. And so the husband always thought it was the wife yelling to him through the house, Kev! Kev! It was crazy. Kev! Yeah, birds are funny. So I'm just trying to make some clouds here, and I'm gonna probably add a little bit of water to this just to soften off what I just did. It was all one color, and skies are never one color. Skies always have variety, so I just wanted to do that. And I think I might pull off some of this color at the bottom too, because usually skies are lighter at the bottom. Bluer up high and lighter at the horizon. Although that looks like clouds now, but we could always put some land if we need to. So let's just see if we can blend this. It's tricky to blend with water. You get blooms and backgrounds and crazy things. You need paint. That's a lot of paint. Let's see what we can do here. Putting back everything I just took off. I should have left it. That's the thing with watercolor. I have to learn to not go back. Just like let it be. That wasn't what I wanted or expected. Rather than fix it, just leave it and do something else that works with what I wanted to do. But I guess I like to be in control, and the paint is in control. Alright, so now we have to decide, do we want to do the bird's legs or the water? Because they have to stand out from the water. That's the tricky part. My iPad went to sleep. Well, we could always make the legs darker than the water. So let's go ahead and put the water in, because why not? Words. That's a lot of words. I guess those ones are older birds. I would always feel like I was having a conversation with a bird if it was saying words, even though I mean, hello means food to your bird. Because she's singing these songs. We had friends that had a cockatoo teal. I don't know. His name was Miko. Anyway, they taught him to whistle a tune. He whistled, I think it was that John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt song, Be kind to your web-footed friends, that one. Which is fitting for a bird to sing. So this is water. And I think I'm gonna have to hair dry this, so I'm gonna mute you. Thank you for saying how beautiful it is. It'll get there. All right, mute. There. All right. The clouds turned out really fluffy. I'm happy with the clouds. So we need some legs on our seagull, and we're just going to use that same orange, but obviously now it's going to be kind of dulled down with the blue that's behind it. And even more so now that I just used a brush that was not completely clean. They're almost green. Whoa. I'm going to have to fix that. It's really important to use your brush, your towel to clean off your... Yeah, your brush. Use something to clean your brush off. Okay, so one leg here. Little knobby knees, because seagulls have knobby knees. And then the skinny part of his leg. And then his little foot. Little webbed foot. And another leg here. Oh, that's too short. I made his legs too short. Poor little guy. He's got genetically short legs. Good thing he doesn't need to run too much. Mostly he'll fly. I might have to put white over that in order to get more color in it. It's really blended into the blue. And now I'm gonna put the thing he's standing on. I still have some brown left over here from whenever that was. I'll use that. So here we go. Kind of dry brushing it. Oh, that's a good song. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, but legs bopping, dancing, and whistling along to music. That's nice. I've seen some YouTube videos, I'm sure we all have, of parrots like totally rock it out to some music. I always wonder why they do it. Like, do they actually dance, or is it just a different, like, are they like posturing for, like, is it a mating dance? I don't know. Like, why would a bird do that? So I need to figure out what kind of gray to put over here for these wings. Boom, boom. And I already have my moon glow, so I guess I'll just stick with that because this separates and it's kind of fun. So I'm gonna drop a little bit here, go up for this wing, like this, and then another one underneath. This. Still 5 of you here. That's so nice. Alright, so we've got a little wing action happening here. Need to do some more shading in the face area just to give it some dimension. So under the chin, we're going to put some shadow there. And then from the beak, got this little area of muscle. And then under the eye and out from the eye. And then this one continues to the neck. Gets a little darker here. And then here we've got towards the stomach. And we're going to pull a little more color here. So watercolors do dry lighter than they go down, but I feel like I have too much color on this image. So I'm just gonna try and pull some of it back with water while it's still nice and wet. It'll also activate some of the granulation characteristics of this color. Now, if I had just clean water here, I could definitely blend in the cheek area. Zoom in glasses. Switch. So in here, I'm just gonna blend that out a little. It's a bonding thing. We think it's dancing, but it's mainly a mating thing, really. No doing it in the spring. Right on. Okay. So let's improve this. Darken up the color. Is that dry? Yeah, let's put some white on top of that because I'm not happy with the leg color. It's really kind of green. That will help. So I'm gonna go back over this with some orange. Something that was more appropriate than this darkish green. I'm gonna leave the edges in green so it's more shadowy. And then since I have white out, let's just add a little bit of wing of texture in the feathers. Because that's what makes it look like a bird. Otherwise it just looks like blobs of color. Which it is. Until you add the little details to make him cute and fluffy. Okay. Now, I'm gonna grab a little bit of black and just really pull in the eye area. And switch glasses again, except I dropped them on the floor because I drop everything. You're back. You have returned.
Yep.
All is well in the city.
I just mainly went to one spot. I wanted to take photos of the golf.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look at them after. I'm in stream, but sure.
Well, it's just...
Oh, that is... Okay, just can I see this? I'm going to show you guys something. My son was out and he took a picture of our car. He did a beautiful job. So I'm going to show it to you. Look at the lighting. He's got the running lights on and the sky is like exactly the right amount glowing. It's like a pro photo. Nice job.
On an old iPhone.
On an old iPhone. Like, what is it, an iPhone 6 or something?
6S, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess he's a budding photographer. Who knew?
Well, hey, whenever you're selling the car...
Yeah, we'll use that one as the photo whenever we decide to sell it, which isn't going to happen soon. But anyway.
It's not going to happen for probably another few years.
A couple years. It's a good car. It's got low cams, so. Nice job.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's helpful to have a mod for sure. And I think it's a good idea for you to have a sleep. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for helping, and enjoy your sleep and your weekend. Well, that really helped, actually. Just adding that little bit in there. I have some other, some pit pens. They're... Woo! That was startling. What I was gonna say, before I made a lot of noise and scared myself, is I have some Pit Artist pens. They're India ink, my favorite pastel, and they're different grays. So I think I might just try to do some work on the wing in one of these grays. Yeah. Just in here, I feel like I need to pull a little bit of something. Just to deepen those bottoms. And the same thing down here where his tail meets the bottom of his body. It was hard to get enough contrast there. And then if I can grab one that's not quite this dark, or even not quite that warm, it's kind of that one. The one I chose is a little bit red or brown instead of blue. Ooh, that one's almost got no color. Super pale. The cap colors don't match the colors. This one's better. I'm just gonna pull a few little like ideas of feathers back here, because the bottoms of the bird always have some fluffy little. His underbelly would be fluffy, and then just some tiny little hints of feathers here in the dark, in the midtones. And then up here in his head, on the reference, he's got lots of variability on his head. So I'll try to hint at that. I don't want to go overboard with it though, because I think it would be too much. But just a few. Just so his mother will recognize him. I don't know. I don't think actual bird mothers recognize their grown babies as such. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do. Alright, well it's getting okay. Definitely needs more work on his legs though, because they're kind of white right now. Right on. Orange. Orange, you glad the stream is almost over? Just a joke. Knock knock, who's there? Orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana. Oh, that's how it goes. Knock knock, who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Hey Melinda. Yeah, I'm happy to make art. Art makes me happy. Art is fun, relaxing, good for all ages, all people. YouTube always asks you to label your content, whether it's made for kids or not made for kids. It's like, well, it's not made for kids, but it's not made for kids. And it's not made for adults. It's made for whoever wants to watch it. So sometimes kids tune in. And sometimes just adults. And sometimes people like me who can't decide if they're grown up or not. Clearly I am. My son drives a car. That makes me old. Somehow. Don't ask me how. Alright, now the bottom beak is always darker than the top beak, so while I've got this little bit of other orange on my brush, I'm just gonna pull that in. Okay, I'm starting to like it. I feel like it's done. The only thing that was a little odd is there's some little white spots there by the water, so I'm just gonna clean my brush well and pull faint amount of. That's not faint. Come on. This is the most staining blue I own. This phthalo blue green shade. It's like intense. Like literally, I hardly touched my palette, and then I had too much paint on it. Crazy. All right, that's better. And then I need to also do something about this because I think it just needs some neutral tint. Because right now it looks green here in the light that I'm using. So a little neutral tint just to desaturate this. So I'm going to put heavy down the edge and then the other edge. And then I'm going to stripe it randomly. And maybe that will be good enough because I'm okay with some of that texture. It just didn't like, I wasn't loving the greenness of it. Okay, I think it's done. I'm feeling it like it's done. Yeah, a joke on the stream. It's like, first time for everything. Today, I told a knock-knock joke. It was a bad one, but maybe, you know, it's a good, clean, fun family show here. I don't know very many jokes. I've known that joke since I was a very young person, so. Okay, this seagull is done. My other glasses just fell on the floor again. I'm going to initial this and pull off the tape. There we go. All right, the unveiling of the finished artwork. Start down here. So much nicer when it's cleaned off. I ordered some what do you call that? The stuff you paint on your painting before you paint it when you want white areas to stay. It's like, some people call it frisket, which is the hard word for it, but it's like resisting medium or something. That's the wrong word. Anyway, if I remember what it was called, that would be helpful, but I ordered some. It's not supposed to come till next week. All right, there is Mr. Seagull standing on a post looking at us. It's pretty cute, sort of loose, not too much detail. I'm liking it. Let's see what it looks like with a mat. I'll grab right over here. I've got a white mat. It always makes it look like a real painting when you put a mat around it, even if it wasn't very good. So there. That's pretty good. Let's look back at our first piece that we did. And it still looks really dull on screen. Probably looks worse now because of the nightness, the lateness. I wish this blue was better. I'm just gonna adjust my camera a tiny bit here. See if I can help that. There we go. Configure the video, and besides white balance, I don't really know what else. Oh, that looks better. Yes, that looks so much closer to what I have here. Let's check out the forest and see if it's better too. Not really. Still looks really washed out. It's much greener in real life. I'll put a picture of it on Instagram. You can watch the replay. So we did 2 pieces of art again tonight. This is great. I'm really happy you guys joined me. It's nice to have your company. It's nice to be able to kick back and chill out and make art. All the good things. Thanks. I can't wait to see. Did you paint both of them today, Sam? I enjoy seeing your art on Instagram. Just gonna turn the chat off here so you can see both of those a little better. There they are. One thing I do to straighten these out is I'll spray the backs and then stick them between 2 pieces of paper underneath something heavy just to stop them from being so warbly. The light's on. Oh yeah, well, it's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Got a name for that bird? Well, the bird I paint the most these days is named Scotty, and Scotty Seagull. I live in the province of Nova Scotia, which is New Scotland, so we have lots of Scottish stuff here. So I called him Scotty. So that's just probably Scotty, but not so cartoonish. All right, well, I'm so impressed. I had lots of you that stuck it out for the whole, like, 2.5 hours that I've been streaming, which is lovely. It's nice to have the company. I'm not sure if Will is still here. Sorry, 1 tree, not good next time. Yeah, well, you know what? The tree was not easy. It was a challenge for sure. We should have gone with the one with the mist at the background. That would have been more fun and maybe easier, but I don't know. It's always good to do things that don't work out, because then you know that there's something still to learn. You still have things left to learn. But thanks again, you guys, and I will see you all in our next live stream, probably next Friday night. And watch the channel. There's going to be some time-lapse videos. I think there's one every day until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, and Will is still here. Yay! All right, well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Let's see if I'm not sure if this light will light me up. Woo! It's so bright. Just looks like Horror Story there now. But yeah, just enjoy yourselves, do something good for yourself, do something that makes you happy. Do something to help you relax. Paint some more watercolors, visit with a friend, go for a nice walk, get some exercise, drink lots of water, get plenty of sleep, and be good to yourself. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.